All right, so we have a little message here from Leslie Jordan, the actor.
Hey, Dale. Hey, Scott. Pull yourself away from those slot machines just for a second so I can talk to you and wish you both. Dale, this is from Scott. He wants to wish you a happy 4th wedding anniversary. I understand y'all got married 4 years ago, but you'd been best friends for 12 years. Oh, my gosh, that's wonderful that it led from being a best friend into something more, because you already knew each other. You knew your bad parts, good parts, everything. That's the best. I'm going to have to look up the Swish Edition podcast. That sounds so fun. But anyway, sounds like y'all have a lot going on, and that's the important thing. Just stay busy. I was at a wedding not too long ago, and I heard the sweetest thing. The judge, who had to be 90, who was officiating the wedding, he said he had been married 60 years, and he said there's only one ingredient needed for a very long and happy marriage, and that is 2 very forgiving people. You have to do a lot of forgiving. I bet y'all have forgiven one another quite a few times. Anyway, Leslie Allen Jordan signing off, wishing y'all a happy 4th wedding anniversary. Dale and Scott.
Live from the Sin City, Las Vegas, Nevada, it's Dale and Scott.
How cool was that?
He hasn't been on the show yet.
How cool was that? That was Leslie Jordan. You guys probably know him if you ever watched Will and Grace, or What About Cat?
What About Cat?
Or whatever it is that he's on now.
Did you know that Jim Parsons was an executive director on Everybody Loves Cat?
Yeah. It's such a great show, and he is so wonderful. We've been following him on Instagram now for years, and he sent that special message to us.
He became really popular during the pandemic on Instagram.
He really did. A lot of people follow him. And I feel very excited that he took the time to say happy anniversary to Dale and Scott, 4 years. Dale, today is our 4th anniversary.
Hooray!
July 19th. We got married 4 years ago today. So there you go. Speaking of wedding anniversaries here in Vegas, you guys probably already know about this because everyone knows about this. Jennifer Lopez and Ben Affleck, they got married this past weekend here in Vegas. They got married at the Little White Chapel early on Sunday morning. This past Sunday morning.
Because aren't the chapels here 24/7?
Yeah,
Most of them are.
Some of them are. So she told this wonderful story about how they were in line on Saturday night at the courthouse. Saturday night, talking to the other couples that were waiting in line to get their wedding. Like, what is it? It's your official papers, I guess, from the county.
Yeah, as far as the state's concerned.
So they were in line and apparently enjoying the company of the other people that were in line.
Yeah.
Including a gay couple.
Well, that's got to be fun. I mean, that's got to be something to turn around and see those two behind you in line.
You know how much I love J-Lo. So I would have been over the
you would have turned around and was like, what the fuck are you doing?
All right. What are you guys doing? This is Jennifer Lopez's 4th marriage. Hopefully this one will stick.
If it doesn't, she'd just be done.
Yeah. Apparently they kept the Little White Chapel open a little later than normal, but they weren't able to get Elvis to marry them because he was already in bed. It was very late. It was after midnight.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they did do the drive-through. You and I, when we tried to get married in the drive-through was closed, and apparently it was closed for Ben and Jen too.
Because that's what I wanted. I mean, if we were just going to do it, no one's going to be around. I want the most typical low rent Las Vegas wedding you could ask for, and we couldn't even get that.
It would have been so much fun. Anyway, I'm happy for Ben and Jen. I hope that they make it. I hope they make it longer than Jen's other marriages.
I don't have any skin in the game, so I don't give a shit.
This, my friends, is the Swish Edition. From their secret underground studio, this is the Swish Edition.
I got a mouthful for you guys.
Dale and Scott are in the studio on the mics, and they fired up the antenna.
It has to come whether you like it or not.
And if you're willing to show it, they'll take a picture of it.
I actually think I might throw up.
Ladies and gentlemen, and everyone else in between, here are your new best friends. They're your
It's
hosts,
very exciting for me because this is the best show ever made.
Dale and Scott.
So here we are. Here we are. Gotta wait for the music to stop, right?
Right.
All right, but here we are. Why is New York City scaring people? What do they know that we don't know? This is very, very disturbing. New York City has put out a PSA, a public service announcement, in case of a nuclear attack, leaving many residents very confused about, like, what the fuck is going on? The city's emergency management department wants residents to be prepared if a nuclear attack happens in New York City. Let me tell you, if a nuclear attack happens in New York City, you're all going to fucking die.
You're all screwed.
You're all going to fucking die. There's no preparedness. The department released a short video this last weekend called Nuclear Preparedness PSA last Monday, but not much else was shared. The New York City Emergency Management put out this video for New Yorkers in case a nuclear attack happens. The video has been viewed more than 500,000 times. And the narrator says, so there's been a nuclear attack. Don't ask me how or why. Just know that the big one has hit. Okay? So what do we do?
This reminds me of that thing that happened in Hawaii. Remember when the text messages went out for Hawaii residents?
Oh, about the volcanoes?
No, I don't think it was about a volcano. I also think it was about a nuclear attack from like North Korea or some shit.
That's true. It was a misfire. It was a mistake.
So this is a little bit different than that because I think that if you watch this like on YouTube or the television, you obviously didn't know that shit was going down because this is not how they would do it.
Right.
But I mean, like you said, I don't know how much this video does any good because if one hits, you're just done anyway.
The New York mayor, Eric Adams, apparently approved this emergency management video. And he says that preparedness and taking necessary steps is what we're all about, especially with what's going on with Ukraine.
Right.
Which is so fucking ridiculous. Literally, if Russia is going to lob nuclear weapons towards the United States, you guys don't need to worry about anything. It's going to happen really fast, especially if you live in a major metropolitan area.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. No,
so
that I agree with.
I don't think you have anything to worry about.
The worst part is the 2 or 3 minutes beforehand when you know it's coming.
It's coming. It's coming. That's when you just like pull your dick out and jerk off as fast as you can.
There you go.
When you order French fries at Disneyland, you guys might not know this, but you're helping power the Mark Twain riverboat.
What?
Yeah, the park uses leftover fryer oil to run the Mark Twain riverboat cruise at Disneyland and Disney World.
So I'm assuming what you mean is the riverboat ride's not floating on used cooking oil.
It's not.
So it's used to power like the animatronics and all that shit.
I know. Everybody thought that they were
Just
like
dumping this shit.
Who knew?
In the thing, and that the riverboat was floating on used French fry oil.
Disneyland here in Southern California just celebrated their 67th anniversary. The park opened in July 17th, 1955. Man, that was a long time ago. That was before my time, Dale. Believe it or not.
Yeah.
67 years that park has been open. It hasn't changed much since then.
Is Mickey Mouse still, is it like considered one of the oldest ongoing characters
I think he may
of
be.
all time?
I think he may be, and he's about to go into the public domain.
Speaking of
soon.
public domain, did you not see the posters for the new Winnie the Pooh horror movie?
What the?
If you don't know what I'm talking about, it came out like yesterday or over the weekend. Just Google Winnie the Pooh horror movie.
I don't like this. This
Yeah.
seems very bad to me.
Winnie the Pooh and Piglet are not who they seem to be.
Are bad, bad, bad people.
I believe it comes out later this year.
A bear and a pig. Best
Yeah.
friends. Best friends.
And they are very unlike themselves or how you would remember them as kids.
All right.
My thing is that I get this whole public domain thing. However, I feel like that if you own a character, right?
Yeah.
Regardless of how beloved it is or whatever, but that if you are continuously, and maybe you put a time frame on this, is that there has to be something new out every few years or something, which will keep it from the public domain.
Yeah.
So you could, because I mean, you can own this character. It's unfair.
You want to keep it going.
It's unfair. It's unfair that you create something. Even if like it's Spider-Man or Superman, like, oh, wait, are all these going into the public domain?
Yeah.
soon?
Eventually they will.
I think it's unfair.
Well, I
if they're
think it's
kept up with.
completely unfair. We've talked about this many times on the
Yeah.
show. I don't think if you've created something, I think it should be yours forever. And I don't understand why anyone else could stake claim in your
Anyway,
something that you created.
Winnie the Pooh and Piglet are coming for your nightmares. You have to look at this poster. It's fucking.
Here's
crazy.
some information from the Hustle Daily. They're looking at the box office numbers from theaters, movie theaters, where people actually go to the movie theaters and actually sit down and buy popcorn and see a movie, which you and I don't do very often, maybe once or twice a year.
Yeah.
But apparently, people were saying theaters are dead. Everyone's watching shit on streaming. Theaters are dead. But guess what, folks? No. People still like going to the theater. It's pretty amazing what's happening. So before the pandemic, in 2019, the intake from theaters was $6.1 billion. And then the pandemic happened. So in 2020, it was $1.8 billion. In 2021, it was $1.3 billion. But guess what's happened in 2022? It's jumped back up to $4.2 billion. People are going back to the theaters. I know Melissa is doing that. She'll see 4 or 5 movies in a row.
That's my nightmare.
That's my nightmare, too. I don't know how she does that. I want to see 1 movie, but she sees like 3. Anyway, people are going back to the theater.
It's all on concessions. I mean, that's $4 billion in fucking popcorn.
How they're all making all their money.
Right.
But apparently everyone's going to see Top Gun this summer. That's what they're going to see.
Blah.
Break it down.
Get swishy with it. Swish Edition.
Got some entertainment news. I'm very excited about this. Tomorrow, on Wednesday, the Halloween Ends trailer will drop. You'll finally get to see how Halloween ends.
Uh-oh.
But does it really end, Dale? Is there really any end to this? Jamie Lee Curtis posted that she just finished her last scene as Laurie just this last week, but we don't believe it. I think there's going to be more. How could they possibly end this?
Right.
It's gotten so much publicity and so much money. How could they end this? Does Lori die? I don't know.
I mean, she could die, and I've always thought that that's not a bad thing. That could be very satisfying as far as the thing, and then let him live on,
right?
And then you do.
We know he can't die.
And then maybe it's not Halloween that he comes out on. Now it's Christmas.
And we'll rename it Christmas.
I mean, you do know that horror movies at Christmas time are like big deals.
They are big deals. Anyway, Halloween ends. The trailer drops tomorrow. We're looking forward to it. Chris Pratt, you guys know him. He plays Star-Lord on Guardians of the Galaxy. Mm-hmm. He has said no. He will not play or reboot Indiana Jones. He was offered a lot of money, Dale.
Yeah.
$20 million to play Indiana Jones in the reboot of the series. He says, I will not do it. I cannot step into Harrison Ford's shoes.
I don't understand that because I feel like that. Okay, so you have what's his name from who's English, right? What's your favorite man? James Bond,
right?
I feel like maybe Indiana Jones could be our sort of like James Bond franchise that could just kind of keep going.
Right.
I mean, they messed up with the latest one, but that's because Harrison Ford came back. You can't bring Harrison Ford back,
but he is coming back.
You gotta start. You gotta start over. You gotta start completely over.
But he is coming back. Harrison Ford is coming back for Indiana Jones 5. He's just turned 80 years old.
Stupid. It's not gonna work. The last one didn't work.
He's 80 years old and he's coming back for Indiana Jones 5. It's coming out later this year. John Williams, who is the most amazing composer. He's done all the songs that you guys know from all the movies like Superman and Star Wars and Indiana Jones and E.T. and he's done it all. He says this is going to be his last movie, Indiana Jones 5. But Pratt is attached to Blade Runner. Did you know that?
I didn't know that.
So he is going to be on Amazon Prime's Blade Runner 2099. It's the sequel to the Blade Runner movie 2049, which came out about 10 years ago.
But he's also currently on Amazon Prime on the terminal list.
I know. He's everywhere.
Chris Pratt supposed to be really good. It's on our list. We just haven't started watching it yet.
Crazy. Speaking of reboots, Criminal Minds. Oh, we got to talk about this. Criminal Minds is coming back. This is one of Dale's favorite shows. CBS. They had it for years. It was on for like 15, 20 years.
15? No, it's 15 or 16. I want to say it was 15.
They finally got an order for Paramount Plus. They're going to do 10 episodes. Joe Mantegna, Christian, how do you say her last name?
Vangnis,
Adam Rodriguez, AJ Cook, Aisha Tyler, who's been on the show before, and Paget Brewster.
A lot of the good ones, yeah.
6 of the main cast members are back. Production begins this late August, and they're doing 10 episodes, and it's going to be a 10-episode arc, Dale. It's going to be one story of following an unsub through the whole thing.
Nice.
It's the FBI's elite team, of course. They're profilers, and they're going to be after an unsub who has used the pandemic to build a network of other serial killers, and they're after all these guys. So,
do you know what unsub means?
Unsub means unknown
subject.
Unknown subject. Yes, that's what I meant to say.
Yeah.
It's Criminal Minds coming to Paramount Plus.
Hope it's good.
And all the actors have been signed up for an extra season, so we could get 2.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Only Murders in the Building season 3 has been ordered by Hulu. Dale and I have not really caught up with season 2. You're kind of on the fence on this one.
Yeah.
You're
Reminds me of just like you on Netflix. After 2 seasons, I'm done.
Are you not enjoying season 2?
I'm enjoying it, and I enjoyed You on Netflix for the first 2 seasons, and after that, it's just too much of the same thing. It's the same thing that if the airline show, Kaylee Cuoco, flight attendant, comes back for a 3rd season. I was like, I'm over it. I'm over it.
We're talking about that in a minute.
Yeah.
Only Murders in the Building. I'm enjoying it. I really am enjoying it.
Yeah. I'll watch this season, but after that, I might be done. I just don't care anymore.
Dale and I have only watched the first episode of The Bear. It's a show on FX. It's also streaming on Hulu. This is the kid from Shameless. His name is Jeremy Allen White. You guys know him probably. What's his name on Shameless? Sig, Wig, Woo.
I can't think of it right now.
Anyway, he said that Shameless ran way too long, 11 seasons.
Yeah.
And he basically felt like it was it wasn't acting anymore. It was just kind of a grind.
Yeah.
It was kind of a job.
I could see that.
Yeah. He was over it. He was way over it after a couple seasons. Anyway, he's back in this new show called The Bear. It follows this kid named Cameron, who is a young chef from fine dining world, who comes home to Chicago, where Shameless was, to run his family's sandwich shop after his brother's suicide. It's very different. It's very different. It's dark.
It's a dark comedy because there is some comedy in it.
Yeah. It's kind of like Shameless, but it's a little darker than that, maybe.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're going to give it a little more time. It's been renewed for a 2nd season.
Right.
HBO says they want to do a 3rd season of White Lotus.
Wow.
And a 3rd season of The Flight Attendant, whether people like it or not.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what I say.
So White Lotus just wrapped up production on season 2. We're going to get that sometime this fall or winter, I think.
Yeah.
They've moved now from Maui in Hawaii. I think now they're in Italy. And the only cast member that went over was Jennifer Coolidge's character.
So I could see White Lotus as this recurring thing with a whole new cast.
But Jennifer Coolidge is always there.
Always there. She's always on vacation because we know from the first season that she's a very rich woman. She has means. And so she could like do these things. She's like kind of involved herself in this whole thing, but with this whole new family.
I like that a lot.
I think that could be a lot of fun. The thing with the flight attendant is that Kaylee Cuoco has said herself.
She's already said
that it should end with
over it.
The 2nd season.
Kaylee Cuoco, who plays the lead character in The Flight Attendant, has already said that she said literally the plane has landed.
Yeah.
She doesn't want to do more, but she's contractually obligated to do more if HBO wants to do more. So she said that if they do pick it up for a 3rd season, that she wants it to focus on her character's sobriety.
Boo.
And I'm like, fuck that shit. That's what
makes it fucking fun.
That's what that's what season 2 was all
and
about.
Maybe that's her way of knowing that people won't enjoy that. And it's like, okay, we're going to cut this short. She doesn't have to do it anymore.
I don't know. So man. I got a little, that's it. There's nothing else on the script.
It's perfect.
You think it's perfect?
Yeah.
You think it's perfect?
I do.
All right. Dale thinks it's perfect. He thinks we should play the music. Listen, I know this is a short show, and it's because we were otherwise engaged today. I didn't finish the script.
No.
This is all I get.
That's all you get.
But I think that's fine. I think the people will be with us, don't you?
This is more than fine.
25 minutes? Is that fine?
Yes.
All right. Tell us a knock-knock joke. You got a knock-knock joke for us?
No.
Knock-knock. Knock-knock.
Who's there?
Orange.
Aren't you glad the show is done?
I am glad the show is done. All right, guys. Glad you listened to the show. We'll be back one more time. One more time, at least.
I'm going to have to look up the Swish Edition podcast. That sounds so fun.